Hi, folks. Thank you for joining us after the premiere of episode 330. I see we have quite a few people in the room already. Appreciate that. So how about a little feedback? What did you guys think of the story? What stood out to you? What seemed particularly impactful? And of course, I start getting messages now. And there's Brenda, 18 months clean off of fentanyl. Thank each and every one of you. I love each of you to the moon and back. Hmm. Well, that was weird. But speaking of the whole phone thing, for those of you who might be watching this on a smart TV, you can still participate in the chat among other viewers by logging in on your phone at the same time and using your phone to join the chat while you still watch on your smart TV. Deborah Campbell says, so proud of what Beth and the ministry are doing to help others who struggle. Andrea Lee, who is another storyteller, her story about her daughter Amanda will be published on Monday. I mean, Andrea says our daughters both died on October 1st. Thank you for sharing your story. Your bravery and faith are much appreciated. Elizabeth, oh, bless you. I am so sorry, Andrea. Brenda says, when Bree's mother said, why isn't my love enough? I just lost it. My sisters, daughter, husband, and mother all asked me the same question. Yeah. You can't, you can't expect someone to just understand addiction. If they're not in it, if they haven't been through it, if they haven't studied it, if they haven't had some kind of previous experience with it, they learn as they go. And sometimes it is very much a brutal education for the family members and for the person going through it as well. Shannon says, thank you for this series and alerting people to cannabis-induced psychosis also. Ah, yes, the cannabis-induced psychosis. That's a touchy one. That we're grateful to be doing those stories, but holy cow, they do draw some pretty passionate, radical kind of reactions. If love could cure addiction, it would have been eradicated long ago with just mama bear love. Yeah. There is a lot of love in the world. There is. There's a lot of pain, a lot of rage and fury and bitterness, all of those things too. But whatever you choose to dwell on is what you're going to see the most of. You attract what you dwell on. Eliza says, thank you all for watching about my girl. And yes, education is key. Education is key. And I think that, you know, there is no too young to start with the education. The education needs to be age appropriate, but there is no too young, when they're 2, 3, 4 years old, you can still teach about things like basic right and wrong stuff, respecting the law, all that kind of stuff, and then evolve into more more specific challenges as they get older and get to the point where they can comprehend more. What else? Our storyteller is in the room. Our storyteller for Monday is also in the room. And so, does anyone have any questions they'd like to ask of the what happened here? Sorry, I get distracted. It's just me here. There's no crew. It's just me. And so everything that's going on here, I have to watch myself. So I've got a couple of computer monitors here, another one over there. And so, wow. I see Kev is here. Brenda says, here's love for you. My very blue collar brother in law has a heart of gold. Once he told B, I will drive you anywhere to see anyone who can help you because you didn't used to be this way. See, that can be a good enough reason. That's certainly a good enough reason to help. You don't have to understand it to help. Kev says, it's my opinion, people are misdiagnosing these protracted injuries and depressants withdrawals causing injuries. Antidepressants are one of the biggest offenders of protracted injuries. So yeah, I saw some of the things you said during the premiere, Kev, and I don't understand your point. Is there some data that supports what you're saying? Protracted injuries, antidepressants withdrawal are causing injuries. That that's hard to follow. I'm not sure it doesn't really make sense to me. There are often stories that involve drug use beginning with some sort of injury and prescription drugs, and then when those prescription drugs run out, the the person moves on to other sources for drugs like the street. How do you find out more about Bree's ministry? Bree? Oh, Bree? Can we hear about that? Sorry, hearing from one of our editors. Brenda says, Kev, welcome. Thanks for joining us. I saw what you said about akathisia during the premiere. My restless leg syndrome lasted for 6 days and nights when I was detoxed off of illicit fentanyl. So, hmm. Well, there you go. Deborah says they're on Facebook and all the contact information is there. So, assuming, wait, where am I at? Shannon Billings, you said Carla Carlock. I don't understand. Carla, I don't think is in the room, but she could join us any minute, or it could be she's in the room and just not saying anything. Okay, good, Brenda. That's a good, simple, basic definition. So, uh, Shannon, you said Carla. Carla Carlock was on your series. Thank you. Raines Law was passed in Oklahoma for education in public schools and dangers of fentanyl starting in the 6th grade. Yeah, it was. Carla did a great thing. Carla is usually in this chat, not not right away. She'll probably join us somewhere around 8 o'clock. Maybe she's already here. Kev says, find Dr. Joseph Witt Doring and hear about his work tapering patients injured by substances or other medications. Find Nicole Lamberson, PA, and D.E. Foster and Mark Horowitz. There's like three stages. There's relief, reform, and recovery. And naloxone, Narcan, or by any other name, as long as it says naloxone, is relief. It is an immediate, urgent thing, and it does if the person experiencing an overdose, if they are if they have an addiction to opioids, it will put them into withdrawal, like accelerated withdrawal, because it blocks the opioid receptors. If the person experiencing the overdose is not addicted to opioids, if it was one of those one-time thing kind of stories, not so much. Shannon says, I am grateful to your series and also Carla for fighting to pass this. Yes, Carla has been on it like Oprah on a baked ham. Carla should be joining us, or could be joining us. We'll go with that. Brenda's back, Lisa. So everybody tell me up. We can't talk about Brenda now because she's back. Eliza, do you want crushed or regularize? Kev says people given Narcan should be followed by a neurologist for months or years after exposure. That's a new one to me. I'd like to know what that's based on. It seems like there would be issues. I've met many people who have been revived with naloxone and never heard of this sort of thing. That's not to say it may not be accurate. I'm just saying I've never heard of it from many of the, I don't know, easily 100 people I've spoken to who have been revived with naloxone, or have revived a loved one with naloxone and never heard any of this. Kev, who is recommending this follow? Brenda asks, Kev, who's recommending this follow up? Do you know people on methadone longer than 2 years should have their heart checked regularly? I always wonder about that. Have your heart checked regularly? Like, so if they find bad news, is there a solution? Is there? I don't know. Elijah says, Crush sounds great. Yes, always carry naloxone. You just never know. Shannon says, where do you get free naloxone? That's a great question, and it's really a Google thing. It depends on where you're at in the country as to where you can get it for free. But in general, you can get naloxone at fentanyl awareness events. Usually there are booths set up, and some of the booths will be just giving it away. You can also go to harm reduction centers, and they'll give it away. Some fire departments in some cities will give it away, or EMTs will give it away. Some pharmacies give it away or have events and give it away for a while. It just varies. But if you Google free naloxone, where can I get free naloxone? Where can I get free Narcan? You'll probably find a way that's close to you. Eliza says here in Alabama, you can request it from Alabama mental health website. We give it away at events. Deborah says contact the local health departments in Alabama, and they will send Narcan to you. And yes, the head of the ACA was injured stopping the opiates, methadone, and later stopping yeah, buprenorphine. Okay, I've been reading for a while. I know how to read, but that's buprenorphine. Yeah. Shannon says, does fentanyl awareness have a booth at Tulsa State Fair in October? Don't know. I don't. Seems like a good idea, though, for sure. Brenda says, Eliza, I'm suspicious of people who don't like crushed ice. And she says, I have Narcan everywhere. You mean naloxone, right, Brenda? Naloxone. Kev says, I took methadone 3 significant times for nearly 2 decades in total. And Pooh says, I'm a counselor at a methadone clinic. They get physicals yearly and a EKG when getting certain dose increases. Okay, so I will contact the state health department, says Shannon. There you go. Good job. And Pooh says we also have Narcan and fentanyl test strips. So, we've been talking about Narcan and fentanyl test strips enough that it's time for the graphic again. That's my feeling. So I'm going to move over this way, and here's the graphic. They all are equally effective, and only one says Narcan. But all of them, all of the graphics, all of the products in this graphic say naloxone. Naloxone is what matters. Narcan is just a brand name. It's the same as saying Kleenex as opposed to saying tissue. Except people need to be aware that naloxone is the drug, not Narcan. Narcan is just a brand. Naloxone is the opioid reversing drug that can save lives. Narcan's a way easier word, but holy cow, it's not accurate. You wind up excluding products by always using the word Narcan when everyone out there needs to understand that naloxone is the word to look for. That's the drug. So I just like to share that now and then because I feel like it's a big deal. I can just imagine two impaired friends looking at a box that doesn't say Narcan on it anywhere. It says Cloxado. What's that? And it says naloxone, but it doesn't say Narcan. And so they could be arguing whether or not they should try it on their friend who's on the floor dying because they didn't know the word naloxone. They didn't know what the drug is and what a brand name is. So there's my little speech. Brenda says, Keith, wow, are you still on Matt, or were you able to get off? I've heard Matt detox is worse than fentanyl withdrawal. Shannon says, is there a difference between Narcan and naloxone? Yeah, I kind of went off on that already. No, there's not. If you look at the box, right under where it says Narcan, it says naloxone. Narcan is just a brand name. Naloxone HCI nasal spray, 4 milligrams. Now, Cloxado actually has 8 milligrams. And it works the same. This is the plunger right here. And this is actually a Cloxado plunger. It's exactly the same as a Narcan plunger. It's exactly the same. So, Narcan is naloxone. And Eliza says, Brenda, you are my people. It really is vital. Yeah, Brenda's awesome. MD Pooh. And I don't know what to do with that name. That is awesome about the EKG. Of course, all harm reduction measures are worth their weight in gold. And Kev says, akathisia is a spectrum of injury that often begins as insomnia and restlessness, waiting for your next dose. Opiates cause interdose opiate withdrawal. I don't. Well, they also cause withdrawal, akathisia, and even tardive akathisia that erupts months later and get mistaken as cravings. Mistaken as cravings. Is there some fix? Is there any value in calling it one thing or the other? Because it's all based on symptoms. And if cravings are a symptom, I don't know. It seems like a Mox Nix kind of thing. Shannon says, thanks, naloxone. Then, yes, it's a big deal. Yeah. Chris Cotney, what an amazing and powerful testimony. And Chris, your name's not lost on me. Yeah, family member. I'm 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 keen on details like that. I see. I'm seeing the same name there. Cav, that must be why I just had a RLS because I was just detoxing off of illicit fentanyl pills and powder. My husband kept begging me to get on on Matt because it hurt him to see me suffer. It should hurt him to see you suffer. And that's how being a partner works. That's how spouses are supposed to be. So good job, Mr. Brenda. Kev says, I came off of methadone in September 2019. I went homeless in 2006 and 2007, stopping methadone. Tardive symptoms erupted and all neurological hell broke loose. Okay. Eliza says, thank you, Chris. GA for victims. Georgia for victims. Yes, very important message. Thank you. Drug court counselor. So here's one of the downsides with some of these, with the speed that the messages update is I I I I think 8-10 seconds or more goes by between the time that I say something and I read a response. And so great message, very important message. You talking about the naloxone Narcan thing? Is there some other message in here that I should be recognizing as what you're talking about? In Depew says they also have injectable naloxone. And yeah, and that's great. And it's faster. But it is a much easier sell to convince someone to jam this up a stranger's nose than it is to convince someone to stab a stranger with a needle. So there's certainly benefits to both. These administer quick, and it's really hard to screw it up. There's training out there on how to administer naloxone nasal spray. There's training. It's like it doesn't need to be anything more than like a 3-minute spiel. But the training classes are a way to it's a way to generate extra value because in the training classes they go into other stuff. They talk about how to recognize an overdose, what kind of symptoms to look for, what to do. Then 3 minutes on administering naloxone, and then talking about what to do next. So, Kev, I'm very sorry you experienced neuro hell. My daughter got Guillain-Barré syndrome back in 2013. The cover protecting her nerves were destroyed, and she was paralyzed for 10 years. That's brutal. Kev says time, only time. Just understand it's a neurological injury. It's anhedonia, it's protracted injury, antidepressant withdrawal injuries look near identical to benzodiazepine ones or opiate ones. GA for victims says I had a client addicted to Suboxone prescribed for migraines. Kimberly says, everyone, please carry Narcan or naloxone. Yes, Brenda, it's okay if you carry naloxone. GA for victims says the Narcan message. Thank you. Yep, straighten the muscle. Okay, I guess that's what we were talking about, the injection. Did I miss? Oh, there it is. Glenn, did somebody in your family have fentanyl death from a street drug? No, it hasn't. It hasn't happened, and I don't want it to happen. I have adult stepchildren and I have grandchildren, and they're some are high school age, and so I don't want it to happen. But I haven't. I have many friends who lost someone to fentanyl, but they became my friends because of this, because of the series. I got to know them because of that. And I've met this incredible amount of really spectacular, giving, generous, hurting people. Met a couple of nut jobs too, but we all deal with grief our own way. So, Nathan Walker, Glenn, thank you for all you do to get the word out. It was a pleasure meeting you. Nathan, were you at a summit? I hear a whole bunch of names, but I'm grateful to you for being here in this live event, whether you were at a summit or not. Speaking of summits, we do have an upcoming summit in Mississippi, which is going to be frighteningly soon. It's a week and a half or so away, and it's going to be one near Baton Rouge, Louisiana. There's going to be one in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. And later in the year, it looks like there's going to be one in Pensacola. Eliza Life, you're laughing at me. Nobody wants it to happen, but I'm grateful for your mission with this series. Thank you. I feel really just incredibly privileged to get to do this kind of work, to be so involved with a topic that's so important, and to be, it's great that we're reaching a lot of people, but it's also so awesome that people get so much out of sharing the story, and they get the feedback from people who make comments on the story. It's wonderful. It's it's been great. Foley, Alabama. So, are you one of our storytellers, Nathan? Recovery is the best thing to be, says Kimberly. Believe it or not, antidepressant withdrawal injuries and benzodiazepine injuries are causing a kind of devastation that dwarf the opiate issue. How do we qualify that? How do we find information about that? Where is there information that addresses that? Like in the case of the opioid crisis, we're not really addressing all of the issues. Not us. I mean, we as a culture, we're not really addressing all of the issues. It isn't. It's just about death count. We're not talking about the long-term injuries. We're not talking about overdoses that get revived with naloxone. We're just talking about the death count. And the death count has gone down. Sorry, we got dogs. And so the death count has gone down. But there's so much more. All of the affected families who lose someone. We're not addressing those issues either. Eliza says Chris Cotney is Bree's amazing uncle who has been living in sobriety for years and helps with Bree's ministry. Him and his beautiful wife are expecting their baby girl in April. Well, awesome. So, Chris, we have a whole series of recovery stories. There's over 60 stories in it right now, and there's more for us to edit that we're getting to pretty regularly, and the series is always growing. There's some incredibly powerful stories in the recovery series that you might really like. Kev says, Brenda, super happy to have you listening. I got benzodiazepine induced neurological dysfunction. Stopping Klonopin only brought in to help taper the opiate. Eliza says he's been completely restored. Praise God. That's wonderful. Brenda says, Eliza, how exciting. Babies are great healers for families. Yeah, they definitely are. There's also this great, oh no, am I ready for this kind of thing too. That just helps you prepare. Okay, everybody got quiet. We can't be doing that. I need more comments from you guys. So you guys remember to give the story that premiered tonight a thumbs up. Click the thumbs up button. I know it seems weird to give a thumbs up to a story about that, but it helps the story get exposure to more audience, and ultimately that's the point. Kev, get this, some well-meaning friend suggested I buy a gas station to taper off of fentanyl. I was shocked because Until that moment, I didn't know about Kratom 7.0, etc. And Kev says, just for context, I was unknowingly made a young pain patient by a 4-week Prozac trial when I was 19 years old. Unknowingly, that sounds criminal. Wow. You know, here's a weird thing. Ever since ever since our YouTube ever since our channel started getting a lot of subscribers, we've started getting tons of junk email. It's really gone up. It's crazy. Kev, is Prozac used off-label for pain? Yeah, I wonder because Prozac isn't a pain medication, is it? Oh, there's still coffee. I still have coffee. That's good. So I just got another message that there's an issue with the audio bit rate. Ah, hmm. Are you? I hope you guys are hearing me all right. I'm getting a message from the on the YouTube display that says, I don't know. The YouTube display said that there was a sorry, Kev. That I find that statement just sounds funny. I find your stream to be fine. It's terrible, I know. So yeah, a message that our audio bitrate was at 0. And if it's at 0, you're not going to hear me. And so it doesn't make any sense for it to say that, but that's what it said. I don't know what to tell you. And Nathan says I can hear everything fine, and my mother says I can hear you. So evidently I shouldn't be worrying about it. So let me see. Oh, that's not what I thought it was. All right. Hmm. Brenda says, Kev, Cymbalta is an evil drug. My daughter was on it for only 5 days when she began displaying very abnormal behaviors. Doctors wanted to argue with me when I demanded be removed from her meds. And Chris says, sorry, I missed your question. Yes, I'm family and very, very proud of my sister telling her story. I'm so blessed to be a small part of this. Glory to God for all he's done. Amen. And Eliza says, Kev, oh my goodness, I didn't realize antidepressants were used for pain. Brenda says, hello, Queen Hughes. Thanks again for giving Glenn to the world so he could save my life back in September 2024. Brenda, you did this, but thank you. So let me just, I don't know if I have, evidently not. Never mind. I'm looking for, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm sorry. Oh, that's the problem. And let's see. Yes, you did save my life, but I had a bunch of help from God and you. So, okay, Brenda. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that very much. It means a lot to me. Amen, Brenda. So we have a little bit of behind the scenes footage that I've shared it before, but I thought I might share some of it again because it is it's interesting, and I can keep talking to you guys as it plays because it's just a glimpse at what happens behind the scenes, and so we're gonna cue that up and let you guys see. Here we are. This is in Foley, Alabama. This is a storyteller that we have not finished the story for yet. Uh, and so, but this is what the setup looks like. You can see our magic box for interviews and all of that good stuff. Shannon says, just curious, Glenn, so are you a drug counselor or producer or both? Well, I'm a producer. I'm not a counselor. I have no training. I have no counselor training. I have associate's degree in psychology, and I have a growing amount of experience talking with people in recovery and people who are struggling with recovery. But that's what I have is what I've learned from talking to people. I am not trained. I'm a journalist, a producer, a filmmaker, that kind of thing. Brenda's asking, when is Easter? Well, it's right after Good Friday, isn't it? I need it to come quickly. These Reese's eggs are delicious. Oh no, that's terrible. Eliza says it was the neatest thing ever. That's cool. So you can see in this footage. It's very much just a simple conversation. My wife is behind the camera that's recording this footage, And seated off to one side in this arrangement is the storyteller's family member. And we just get set. I've got my coffee. And what? Huh. So, and you can see you can kind of see the way that our interview setup works, how we use this box. So for the storyteller cannot see the camera at all. The storyteller talks to me. They see a reflection of me. And so it appears that they're talking directly to the camera, but they're just talking to me. They're just talking to a person. It's not that I'm special. They're talking to a person. They're not talking to the deep abyss of a lens. So let me catch up. Kev says, sorry to drop off. One of my injured may take it her life, trying to confirm, like I said, I've lost 27 friends to protracted injuries since March 2021. People suffering 3, 5, 10 years after stopping. Well, Kev, if that's a thing, we'd certainly love to address it more on our channel. Eliza, I think, Brenda says, Eliza, I think I'm developing an addiction to these chocolate. Yeah, there's no naloxone for a chocolate addiction, for sure. Shannon says Resurrection Sunday or Easter Sunday is first Sunday in April, I think. Is it? Come on. You folks have calendars, right? Do the families teach? Do the families reach out to you? I'm guessing that's what you're saying. Yeah, they do. Here's what usually happens. We will get an email from someone somewhere who wants to share their story. And I reply by explaining that when we come to a location, we try to record 6 to 8 stories a day for at least 2 days. And that person, if they're still interested, that person becomes the event coordinator for that area. At the end of the credits for all of the stories that came from other parts of the country, there's an event coordinator. And the event coordinator finds the location for us to record the interviews. And there's a few kind of special requirements for the room that we use to record the interviews. And from there, in most cases, the person who made the initial inquiry knows other people who have similar interest in sharing stories. And then we announce it on our YouTube channel and our Facebook pages, and people start signing up. We provide a link where people can register. And how do they reach you then? They email us. The email info@texas-pictures.com is a good one. There'll be a closing graphic in a little while that will have the email on it. But info@texas-pictures.com. Or you can find me on Facebook. Friend me personally, Glenn Muse. My name's right down here. right there. Yeah, see. Friend me and then send me a message in instant messenger and ask, and we can do it that way, or I can send you the email that way. And you can also and remind me if you want to share a story. You can remind me to invite you to be a part of our private Facebook group, Texas Picture Storytellers. And that group, there's about 630 people in it right now. And that group is made up primarily of people who have shared stories with us or people who wish to share stories with us. So, all right. Glasses broke. Wait a minute. What? Brenda, I can't take credit card, but I was at least, I can't take credit, but I was at least an influence. Thank God. Thank you for recognizing that he cares and that he's being helpful through his work. Very nice, Mom. Shannon says, how do they reach you? Okay, I answered that. Shannon's asking, do families mainly feel some healing getting their stories out? I, I believe so. That's really, when I do these interviews, in the case of fentanyl stories for sure, I walk the storyteller through the worst day of their lives. And people ask me, is that hard? And it isn't. And the reason why it isn't is because I know when it's over, they're going to feel better. Like like a cathartic thing. It's a wonderful moment. And so when the interview is over, you saw the interview set up. When the interview is over, I come around. I come around from the camera, from behind the camera, and the storyteller hugs me. And doesn't matter, man, woman, they hug me. We have this wonderful, kind moment, and as the hug is ending, I reach into my pocket and I pull out one of these, and I tell them, "This is for you." And they look at it, and it takes a second, but then it clicks. They get it. It's a metaphor. Lifesavers, because that's what they're doing. And it makes them cry again, but it's a different kind of crying. And it's a wonderful moment. And I know that's coming through the whole interview. And we also have special t-shirts that we give them as well. And so there is a wonderful a wonderful healing aspect that seems to help the storyteller. It may only help them for a little while. It may only last 30 minutes or an hour or a day. Regardless, it's still a kind of a victory that they get to have that moment. Lifesavers are so great. Yes, I agree. So there was I don't think I can find it. I it would take me too long to find it, but one of our storytellers in Mississippi sent me. After we do the interview, the storyteller typically emails us a bunch of pictures, and one of the storytellers, a lot of fentanyl families, fentanyl parents that have lost someone, they 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 have a place in their home that is sort of a shrine, a space that honors their loved one lost. And now and then, a storyteller that'll be one of the pictures that they send us to use in the documentary when we make their story. And a one of our storytellers sent me a picture of that shrine, and on one of the shelves, halfway obscured by a picture, you could see the roll of lifesavers that I put in her hand when we did the interview. It's crazy. It made me cry. Right here. Just when I realized it was, yeah. So, yeah, that happens. All right. So I know I've missed it. Julian says I joined on Monday, March 2nd, and I have 2 subscribers. Okay, cool. April says Shannon. He's also on Facebook. I still have my lifesavers clip. Cool. Yeah, I'm on Facebook. You can find me on Facebook by my name and send me a friend request, and I can send you an invite to join our Texas Picture Storyteller group. And the group, what we do with the group is a way to connect all the storytellers that have shared stories. And it's a place where people who've expressed an interest in sharing a story can stay update on our schedule and what part of the country we're going to be in when and things like that, so that they get first crack at signing up to share their story whenever we make it to whatever part of the country they're from or they're in. Carla is in the house. Thank you for joining us, Carla. Someone was asking about you earlier. Are you? Are you really, Carla? You're looking for a Texas Pictures hoodie. We actually, our store is reconnected to our channel, and we even have some new products in the store now. And there is hoodies. There's a zippered hoodie and a pullover hoodie. The zippered hoodie is called the Bradley. It's in the name even. April says Rain's Law, in love you, Carla. I'll be emailing sometime Tuesday. Can I CC you in that email? And Shannon says, I see. Okay, good to know. It's easy. Now on Christy Nome. You're talking about Christy Nome, aren't you? That's Brad. Brad's on top of the news. Because, I don't know. Brad was here and now he's gone. It It could be he just dozed off. Brad has a crush on Christy. Well, she's got more time now. So, you know, give her a call. Shannon says, I live in Oklahoma. I want to say thank you, Carlos, since you are here. Is Oklahoma the first state to have a law like Rain's Law? Yeah, he dozed off. It's probably sitting in a chair, head back, snoring, one arm resting on his walker, something like that. Brad, there's Brad. What are your thoughts on Kristi Noem from the Homeland Security being fired? I think when you take a job like that, you got to understand. You got to understand that there's a real high turnover rate in positions like that, and so Carlos says no. There's a few other states that have a similar law. I think all states need one. They certainly do, for sure. April says Leo's law and Rain's law are crucial to save lives, like the naloxone I give out. And Brenda says, Shannon, New York State passed a similar law, but Rain's law is way better because it covers more grades and all schools. Shannon agrees. Every state needs Rain's law. Carla says, Eliza, it's a law in Oklahoma that will require fentanyl education in grades 6 to 12. And Brad's asking, when am I coming through Oklahoma City? Well, I hope kind of soon. I think there's been some inquiries from Jake, and I hope we can make it happen, and we can do another get together at the Toby Keith place. Brenda, you could be there. Shannon, you could be there. Anyone in Oklahoma or anyone who wants to drive further than that, come on down. But as we get it organized and make it happen, we'll let you know. Carla met her in D.C. the other day. Brad is back and he's giving me whiplash. No, that's funny. I hope you come through soon. Thank you, Carla. I hope I come through soon. I do too. I do too. I really. Our schedule's about to get a little chaotic because we've got the Memphis event. We have this Memphis event, and then we have a couple of others that'll follow soon after that. And so we'll see where we're at. But I really want to get up there. I want to do something about do something that addresses Rain's Law. April says, Carla and I are going to work on Florida. Rain's Law. And Carla says, yes, we are. 5-year plan, Brad and Brenda, April. That is great. I am in Alabama. I need to look at this. Brad says he'll book Toby Keith for us. April says 3 days in Memphis. Yeah. It's going to be epic, I'm sure. We will have a productive time of healing and bonding And who was it? Shannon. Shannon, you were asking about our storytelling summits, and so there is a page on our website, texas-pictures.com. It scrolls by now and then. Look, there it is right now, texas-pictures.com. I see it. Now it's gone. That's interesting. Well, I thought it seems like there is an issue with our website right now. So I'll have to check on that. April says, Toby Keith, I'm coming too, okay, with my coffee cup. Hmm. Well, that's peculiar. It seems our website isn't working right now, and I don't know what to make of that. We'll see. Still, huh? Must be some issue with the provider. I'm proud of Brenda too. Carla says she's finally free. I'm so proud of you, Brenda, says Carla. I need a self cleaning. Carla, you have one. As long as you drink black coffee, you never have to wash it. See, how clean does that look? Doesn't that look clean? I don't, I don't know if it's been washed in 2026. Hmm. So weird thing with the website. So anyway, yeah, Shannon, the website does have information on the summits, but it's not coming up for me right now. I don't know if that's an issue with me or an issue with the host or whatever. But on our homepage, there's a link that will take you to a page that describes how the summits work. And there's another link that will take you to a page that describes how sharing your story works. So, hmm. Oh, that's peculiar. All right. So, anyway, April Smith, DEA Summit gave me a white self cleaning one that Eureka, even with sugar and cream. Really thought it's amazing coffee cup, but that don't stain or anything. Brenda says, I promise to continue to work hard for my recovery so everyone can rest assured, having placed their pride in me and my recovery, I couldn't have done it one day without you all. We're all very grateful for you, Brenda. I know we are all very grateful for you and for all that you've shared with us throughout these live events. That they're just very very grateful. Yeah. Carlos says, Brenda, you should do a recovery story with Glenn. Well, yeah, you certainly should. Our most recent episode, the episode tonight, the episode tonight was episode 330. And the one before, I don't know how for sure. The one before was there was a recovery story, and before that, it was episode 329, and that was Alex Taylor's story. And so tonight is Brianna Cotney's story. Yes, it is, and we're gonna have a look at how it's doing. Right now is I don't know if the storyteller is still with us or not, but Brianna's story is so far. Brianna's story has had over 2,000 views since the premiere, an hour and a half ago. So that's great. Brianna is reaching a lot of people. That's wonderful. Yeah, no, I get to see a little more current data here, April, and it says 2.1. It actually says 2062, 2067. In a second, it'll change again. 2070. Yeah, 2074. It's cool, isn't it? It's wonderful that the story is reaching people. It's wonderful. It's when we do these stories, I think part of what it does for the storyteller is that it creates an opportunity to pull just a little bit of value out of the terrible loss that they've been through. It's not that it's a loss, a lot, and it's certainly no consolation, but there's something beautiful to it. April says, I lost 5. I don't want anyone to lose 1. Yeah, April's one of our storytellers. Name of her story is Losing 5. Liza says, so true. I agree. So it's at 2120 now, 2,120 views. So we're not going to sit here and watch that go up, though. So, but it is going to be time to wrap it up pretty soon. I know. There's Brenda's cue. So we will be back tomorrow at live after the premiere of our first story about an unsolved murder. That's going to premiere tomorrow. I believe it's also set for 7 o'clock Central Time. April says, I'll be sharing my domestic violence and sobriety story in Memphis. Clean 15 years now myself. So grateful to be alive. And Brenda with her oh so important, consistent message. What you take for granted, someone else is praying for. I think that's such a wonderful, so important kind of message to keep reinforcing with everyone. Because it says, be grateful. Gratitude attracts more to be grateful for. It's just how it works. You attract what you dwell on. So if you dwell on gratitude, this is how it works. Still, no, nothing on Nux. Nothing in quite a while from Nux. So, but I tell myself it's because she's busy. It's because she's on some mission. I hope so. Yeah. So I want to thank you all again for joining us. It's wonderful that so many people have joined us to participate in the chat, not just to view, but to be a part of it, to share. We're all in it together, and it's great how people connect here so effortlessly. Well, except for me speaking, how people connect here so effortlessly and grow and help each other. It's a wonderful thing. Well, gee, Brad, my birthday was just a little over a week ago. On the 26th. Tomorrow is Black Balloon Day. It's also the anniversary of the fall of the Alamo. Happened in 1836. Eliza says, thank you, Glenn, and everyone else. You guys are so welcoming. Yeah. Isn't it cool? This community that happens during these live events, the way everyone connects and shares, it's magic. It's very much like what happens in the other room during one of our storytelling summits, the place where storytellers fill out forms and wait for their appointment or wait for me to catch up enough for it to be time to do their interview, even though I'm running behind. Whatever. But all the connecting and all of the visiting and all of the bonding that happens in that other room is real magic. April Smith's episode 287 tells how I lost 5 family members, and a little advice at the end. I don't know why. Just I think that dog hallucinates, sees things, doesn't understand what they are, so he barks at them. That would explain everything. Anyway, Brina Boo says good night, and she's right. It is time to wrap things up. But I want to thank all of you for joining us. I really appreciate you guys being here and being a part of this. And please join us tomorrow for the news story of an unsolved murder. Armane Dante Morgan. Happened in Dallas, Texas. I believe in 2017, if I remember right. Good night, Carla. Good night, Elijah. Shannon. No, the pup doesn't want to be included. He wants to be the center of attention. He doesn't want to be part of the group. That's just his way. But thank you all. And remember, you're welcome to reach out to us at any time. You can get to us by email at info@texas-pictures.com. You can find us on Facebook by searching for my name. And you can visit our website when it's working. I don't know what's up with it right now, but we'll get it taken care of. Texas-pictures.com. You find information about how to share your story. There's a link to our merchandise store. And there's more information about us, like mailing address, phone number, and a little bit of our company history and some of the other work that we've done. So okay, we'll try that again. So thank you all for joining us. At what kind of pup? Something like a snickerdoodle kind of thing. I don't know. Anyway, we can talk more about that next time. Please join us tomorrow. And we will talk to you guys very soon. Good night, everybody.